There is a bipartisan group of 100 lawmakers sending a message to the supercommittee. That message is go big. They say the committee should aim for $4 trillion in deficit reduction and not $1.2 trillion. Two of the men who signed that letter are with me now. New York Congressman Michael Grimm, a Republican and member of the House Financial Services Committee. Tennessee Congressman Jim Cooper, a Democrat and member of the Oversight and Government Reform Committee. And gentlemen, it's an honor to have both of you, and good morning to you.
Good morning.
Mr. Grimm, why'd you sign the letter? What was the message there?
Well, I think it's the reason I was elected to Congress. The people on both sides of the aisle want us to deal with this debt. And Admiral Mullen even said that this is the number one problem for the United States. The number one threat is this unbelievable burden of debt. So I think that we have to answer the call of the people and step up, do what needs to be done. But I've realized in my 10 months, the only way we're going to do this is by working together. So let's sit down at the table. Let's put politics aside. Let's put our country first. And let's deal with our debt problem. You
know, Mr. Cooper, you said you were hoping for a miracle. Is it that dire?
Well, we're trying to give the supercommittee a backbone, and I'm proud to work with my friends across the aisle to try to do that. We've got to face the debt problem. My colleague is exactly right. It's been festering for a long, long time. Now's the time for the supercommittee to take bold action, and it should be a $4 trillion solution just to stabilize the problem.
Yeah, looking for backbone. Senator Schumer was asked about this. I don't know if you heard it, but I'll play it for you and ask you both about it. Roll it.
If you don't do any revenues, you won't get the grand bargain that gets the deficit down. Just as if you didn't do spending, you couldn't come to a grand bargain that gets the deficit down.
Well, what he's saying is that if you don't get a deal, you can blame Republicans, Mr. Grimm.
Well, again, I think that's the partisan rhetoric that's not furthering the conversation.
That's precisely what you just said you don't need.
There's no question.
What's your message to Senator Schumer?
Very simple. Let's stop the rhetoric. Let's sit down. I will talk about anything. I'm not agreeing for any specific provision. What I'm saying is let's put every single thing on the table, have an open and honest discussion without cameras, without partisan rhetoric, and let's put our country first. I've done that. I've been in combat. I've been an undercover agent for the FBI. I've put my country first many times. It's not that hard to do. It's just about sitting down and saying what's more important, re-election or our country. And I think that everyone that signed this letter is saying that we are willing to put the country first, and we know that this is a huge problem we have to deal with.
Yeah, Mr. Cooper, if this fails, do you blame Republicans like Senator Schumer?
Well, Bill, it's very important to read the letter, and Mr. Grimm has signed a letter that calls for revenues. So he's not only from New York, he actually agrees with Schumer more than he's admitting here. It's important that we not fight over these issues, though, that we encourage a bold solution, and a bold solution will really have everything on the table. It should be a balanced approach with everything on the table. We've got to come up with something, and there are only a few days left. Otherwise, the country will suffer. So let's put our partisanship aside. Let's focus on the real issues. It should be spending cuts that are huge and predominant. It should also be some revenues. We can do this. We must do this, and we only have till November 23rd to get it done.
Mr. Grimm, do you want to respond to that?
Well, where I do disagree with Senator Schumer is about pointing fingers at all.
No, I want you to respond to Mr. Cooper here, who says that you're talking two different ways.
No, I don't think we're talking two different ways at all. I think that everything should be on the table so that we can at least have the conversation. It doesn't mean that I'm asking my colleague, Mr. Cooper, or anyone to agree with my position. What I'm saying is let's at least have the honest discussion without the rhetoric of politics and without the optics of politics.
I think the American people are calling for that. We'll see whether or not we get it.
I feel that's why I was elected.
Grimm, thank you. Congressman Cooper, thanks to you as well. There are other ways to do this, and we'll see whether or not in the next 16 days it happens that way. Thanks to both of you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
20 minutes before the hour.
Thank you.